That's why we haven't received any new information.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Are you muted right now?
Maybe. I'm muted, but I'm always muted.
I know, but maybe the thing is, I'm not sure. This has been very finicky lately, so you might have to talk through your computer. I know it's going to echo.
Hey, Corinne, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we can.
It may just,
Am I really loud or am I okay volume?
No, she's good.
More importantly,
You're great. I'm not.
Corinne, can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear John?
Yes, I can hear.
And can you see? Can you see the meeting?
No, so she cannot hear our mic. She's only hearing it through my computer.
yeah, it's been very weird lately. I don't know. It's been off.
I take that as maybe she can't see, but she can hear.
Maybe.
Yeah, we can't have my mic on because
She out
then
of town?
it's just going to be
She is.
have a whole bunch of feedback.
Yeah, she's down in Florida.
Can you hear me through this?
Did you get minutes and did you review them?
I did, and I'm fine with them.
Okay, good.
It's that new system. They take out all the words that don't count, I guess, and they just put.
Yeah, I mean, if you
I can
have
hear you.
edits, you can file them back to Emily.
No, to get the core of what
Yeah,
I'm trying to
okay,
say.
that's all.
That's it. Yeah.
He'll talk with you.
But I was just making sure that's the way it's supposed
Okay,
to be.
that's
Right?
fine.
They get rid of all the fluff, I guess. Good.
Can you hear the meeting going on? It hasn't started.
Folks, if anybody'd like an agenda, they're up here on the table. Feel free to grab one.
More importantly, let's see if
I can hear other people talking in the background.
Is it loud or no?
I don't know, like someone speak.
Corinne, can you hear from this mic right here?
Yes, I can hear.
That's the public mic.
Next week.
Yeah, not next week. Next time.
Next time.
I'll just put it underneath there. If you want.
I'll take it.
That's the one you need.
Thank you.
Hey, good, Brian. How you doing? Thank you.
Now I can't hear anything though. If people are talking, I can't hear.
That's for the 30th, all those?
Can you hear anything now?
No.
Don't say anything except for me.
Okay, well, I can hear you.
6:58.
Okay. Owen, did that guy say his name was?
Owen.
Owen, yeah, we're gonna start, hopefully on time. Good evening. Check. Are you on? Yep. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and hope you're all doing well, and welcome to tonight's Zoning Board of Appeals. We are now in session. If I could ask everyone to please silence your mobile devices, cell phones, or turn them off so we're not interrupted. I'm going to start by introducing the Zoning Board members. Down to my right is Jeff Sauer. Our clerk tonight is Ken Scholes. Myself, John Bowner, as the chairman. And to my left is Ken Jarvinen. And joining us remotely is Corrine. And Corrine, if you could just give me a mic check so I know you're good.
Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can.
Excellent. Thank you. And from our planning division is our planning director, Mr. Brian Zakelli. Zoning board members, we were all in receipt of minutes dated September 25th. And if there is no other further discussion, I will ask for a motion to accept these minutes.
So moved.
I got a motion?
I will second.
And a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. We have a lot of residential cases tonight, so I'll just quickly go through our process and how we proceed. The clerk will read your case, and then we ask that you, if you're presenting, step up to the microphone, identify yourself. Just tell us what you'd like to do. From there, I will bring it back to the board. The board will ask questions of you. From there, I'll open it up for public comment. Anyone in the audience, if you wish to be heard, you can go up to the microphone, identify your name and address for our minutes. We are on Danvers cable, so I do ask that you speak into the microphone. If you feel you need to go over to the screen to point something out, please take the microphone with you. I think it's removable from the podium there. From that point, I will close the public comment portion of the meeting, and then it will come back for a final deliberation in front of all of you in an open meeting here by our board. We ask that we're not interrupted during that deliberation. At that point, all questions will end. And from there, we'll give you your options. If we vote and deny your case, you can't bring it back to us for at least 2 years. You can withdraw without prejudice, or you can ask for a continuance, depending on how you hear the vote going. And with that said, I believe I've captured everything, and we have one continued case, and if we could start with that one, Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our first case is 6 South Liberty Street, zoned R2. Request for a special permit under Section 9.3 of the zoning bylaw to store outdoor containers for longer than 180 consecutive days on a residentially zoned parcel. Relief is also sought for performance standards in Section 9.3.c, 1, 2, and 3 that cannot be met by the proposal. Request is made by Cesar Guerrero, docket 23-5036.
Anybody here on 6 South Liberty Street? Okay, seeing that no one is present, we did not receive any updated material either, and I'll just double check with Brian. That is correct. Okay, so I believe, zoning board members, what was before us was we were in denial at last point. All 5 members were not in acceptance of this. I think the only thing before I ask for a withdrawal is that we set a timeline, I think, to remove, or are we just going to dismiss this without prejudice? I guess we can do either. So I'll just strobe all of you, Jeff. This is a question of the trailer removal and how much time we want to give this applicant on top of, I think, withdrawing without prejudice. So I'm sorry, we would dismiss this, I guess.
Yeah, I would vote to dismiss this.
Okay. And Ken?
And if we do that, what's the time frame that he has to
I
get
think we could set that.
Well, it's unclear what you would say, but when you say dismiss, I mean, if there's then you wouldn't be able to propose any conditions, meaning that
Right.
the idea is, I mean, if you dismiss it, which I'm not, I think you do need to make a vote, or you need to continue it. I think dismissing it is not really an option. It's either approve with conditions,
Or deny.
or
withdraw.
continue.
Well, I can tell you right now, I don't think we're not going to put it for a continuance, so.
No.
Then realistically, if you
Withdraw.
wanted to put a timeline on the removal of those,
Or yes or no.
that option kind of forces you into a denial with condition. Like
Oh,
you would
okay.
deny it and then
Right,
say
yep.
you got 60 days to,
Right.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll do. We'll put it forth for a vote. And
Yeah.
you have no additional comments or questions, Ken?
I do not.
No. And Ken?
I just want to state that I think I mentioned 3 months
Okay.
before.
You would propose 90 days?
Yeah.
Okay. Corinne, do you have any comment or questions regarding this continued case from 6 South Liberty? Can we turn her up?
I mean, I agree with Brian. I know that they had made a couple of proposals or requests the last time they were in. I agree, maybe 90 days. I don't really know what other option we have. Unless we want to continue it to the end of the meeting to see if maybe they show up and then make a ruling then.
Yeah, I guess we could table it in case they were held up. I'm just more inclined to take a vote now, only because we haven't seen any updated literature. That was the request.
That's true, because didn't they want to,
They wanted additional parking spots, which were nothing to do with this application, so I wasn't inclined to hear even that piece of it.
I agree. If you want to vote,
I mean, we can hold it, I guess.
I would vote now. I would vote against it, and.
Now you would like to vote, or you want to hold it?
No. I'm saying if, obviously we can't withdraw it. We can't withdraw it, as Brian said, so we either vote on it, or that's really our only option at this point, or continue it. So if we have to go forward now, I would vote against it. And as far as the time frame with which we think they should remove, the storage container, I would agree probably 90 days or 60 days, something, because I think that container's very large and it's going to, take him some time to figure out where he's going to move it to.
Okay, I mean, I'm more inclined for 60 days, but 2 of you guys have mentioned 90 days. I would be okay with that as well,
I'm on the end of the year, this for me.
by the end of the year.
End of the year.
Okay. All right, so I guess we'll close the discussion and we'll put this forth for a vote. So I guess we are going to take a vote on 6 South Liberty Street. All those, and we're going to ask for this trailer to be removed by the end of calendar year 2023.
Just so we're clear, that's sadly only 6 weeks away.
That's 75 days.
That's 70.
Well, that kind of splits the middle of 90 and 60,
Okay.
so I think I'm okay with that.
Fair enough.
Any discussion on that?
Nope.
So all members to accept this application and who are voting in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Well, wait a
Aye.
minute. No, we're not. No, we're not in favor, right? We're
Well,
opposed.
The motion is to deny, and
Position.
yeah, the
We're
motion
voting
is to deny.
to
and you-
deny this application. So all
With conditions.
with the condition of the trailer be removed within 75 days or the end of this calendar
All
year.
right.
Any further discussion?
No.
All opposed? Hearing none, the motion doesn't pass, so we will, get a letter out to them, I guess?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Do we get that correct, I think?
Yep, we
All
can.
right.
Yeah, it was a 5-0 vote in the affirmative to deny the application for the storage trailer to be removed without penalty by January 1st, and a penalty would
Right.
potentially start after that date.
Very good. Okay, moving right along, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, our
case.
next case is 4 Hanson Road, zoned R2. Request for a variance under Table 2 of the Danvers Zoning Bylaw to allow the expansion of an existing single-family home into the right side setback and to request a special permit from Section 9.2 to create an internal extended family living area larger than 750 square feet. Request is made by Justin DeLu, care of Michael Bean, docket 23-5039.
Hey, good evening, Mr. Bean. For the record, you are?
Good evening. My name's Michael Bean. I'll be doing the work on the house if if we get a thumbs up.
All right. Well, tell us what it is you'd like to do there.
Okay. It's a single-family home, and we'd like to put a in-law above the garage in the breezeway. Would have two exterior stairways. The side lot would be interrupted by the side stairway, and then the actual in-law would be, we're asking for more than the 750 square feet.
Okay. So it's oversized,
Yes.
and it's going to encroach the setback.
Yes, the right side will be
Right
about
side
4
setback.
feet. It'll be the width of the stairway.
Okay. And this is R2?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else you want to present to us?
I think that's all I need to, unless there's anything you need to ask me.
All right. I'll open up for questions. We'll start down there with you, Jeff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the encroachment into the side setback is the external stairway you have shown in the plan here?
It is, yes.
Okay. I don't have any other questions at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Jeff. Ken?
Mr. Bean, can you explain what the internal flow is here between the two, the effluent and the main house? Is there any kind of common?
Yes, so right now, if you enter the breezeway, there's the breezeway, a door to the right garage. We're going to put a laundry area in that area so they can share it.
Both
which-
shares of laundry?
Yes,
Okay.
and that way, the grandson can use it from upstairs, and the current grandparents can just stay on one floor.
Gotcha. Well, that's all I had, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Ken? Jay?
So where is the entrance for the EFLA gonna be?
So there's two exterior entrances. One is at the rear of the house, and one is on the right side.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Karine, I'll go out to you, and if Mr. DeCat back there can hear us, if she could be turned up a little, we can't hear it too good in here. Go ahead, Karine. Questions?
Am I all set?
Yeah, we're having a hard time hearing you, but go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I
I think
actually
it's
on
just
this
in the
one-
room. I don't think it's you.
Okay, I don't have any questions on this applicant.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Bean, so in looking at the front of the house, you've got this, it looks like a slider on the right-hand side?
In the breezeway, yes.
All right, so I'm looking at the internal floor plan here. I don't see the common area. So that's what I'm a little confused about. I don't see the laundry room.
I'm not sure if it got deleted on yours, I'm sorry, but when you walk into the breezeway, there's a wall to the right, and so the laundry would go partially into the garage and partially into the breezeway.
Do you think you could come up there and show
Yeah,
me out
definitely.
here?
Yep.
Is this the slider here? So there's a
This is
stairs, right?
utility.
Yeah, that's the second floor. This is the second floor.
Okay.
So on the first floor, I hope I gave you. Yeah, we're gonna, when you walk in the slider here, this is what you see in the slider.
Okay, so the only,
We'll
okay,
Bump into that.
all right, let me,
Keep that on the first
yep,
floor.
go ahead, Beck, I'll ask some more questions now that I get it. So, the only access to this EFLA will be up the stairs exterior to the house?
Yes.
And how does the person in the EFLA get to this laundry room that's down in the garage? Through the breezeway only?
So the breezeway has a front and rear entrance, and the rear stairs are located very close to the rear current slider. So you come down the stairs and go right in the breezeway that way.
But so they have to go outside?
You'd have to go outside.
That doesn't seem like a great setup. I did a site visit yesterday. There is a an unregistered mobile home on this property at the rear of the address. If you're
is-
gonna be heard, come to the microphone, but I'm talking to Mr. Bean right now.
Okay, there,
So what do you know about that? And if you don't have anything, info, we'll have the owner tell us.
okay, I have no info.
All right, well, let's have the owner up here.
All right.
Hi there.
Hi, Len Leduc, the owner of the house.
Okay.
The mobile home is registered. The plate just not on it, that's all. But it is registered and insured.
Well, it looks more like a permanent structure. I don't think.
No, it's not a permanent, it's a travel trailer. But I keep it registered because I need insurance on it.
Sure. Well, you can see why I'm confused, right? Because if I don't see a license plate on it, to me, it looks unregistered, right?
No, I know, I
Okay.
understand. But it is registered and it does have insurance on it.
Okay. All right, I guess the audience is that. But I guess back to Mr. Bean. I mean, is there no other way to connect this second floor internally? Because this kind of,
Seems like.
I
we're
have two issues. I guess I'd just say it this way. You know, a lot of times EFLAs are elderly parents, right?
Yes.
I always question stairs and second floor with that scenario. To me, this lends itself more to be an apartment down the road for maybe the next owner, maybe not this owner. But I guess the question is, what or how did you explore doing something internally?
It just, the stairway was going to take up too much room and not allow enough living space upstairs.
Couldn't something be done, spiral staircase or something in that breezeway from the second floor?
I'm not sure how that would go with our code, as far as second egress.
Okay, I mean, I understand it's challenging.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. I would rather see one too. It just seemed like no matter how we do it, we
I
didn't
mean,
have
I
a
just
lot
know
of
in
room.
my own house, my laundry room's down in the garage, and I have to go through my garage, which I can do luckily right now, but I don't know down the road, which may force me out of my house, right? So, all right, any additional questions from the board?
No.
If not, I'll go out to the public on this. We're here for 4 Hanson Road. Anybody would like to be heard? Hearing, seeing none, I'll come back to the board. We'll start down there with you, Jeff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I'm very concerned that this looks more like an apartment than an EFLA. There's a reason why we ask for shared internal space so that it can't be construed as an illegal apartment. So I'm not really in favor of this. If we could work the plan somehow to get an internal stairway or internal room somewhere, 2 external points of egress, it's an apartment. It's not an EFLA by the standards we want to try to maintain. If we vote for this, it's a deed restriction and a variance that go with the property forever. So I'm not saying that this owner would be unscrupulous and make it an apartment, but someone down the road might. So I'm not in favor of it as
Okay.
proposed right now.
Thank you, Jeff. Ken?
Thank you. I don't really like it that much either, but I'm okay with it. I'll let it go.
Okay. Jeff, Ken, Jay?
Yeah, the elderly parents coming down the stairs, I mean, I can't see how that is gonna really work. Like, as people age and stuff, I wouldn't wanna be elderly and going down. I would just like to see it, you couldn't make, more of the living space downstairs. Well, I know it's above the garage, right? So.
Yes. Yeah. The original owners are going to
Hold up, just comments now.
Yeah, your
No more
comments.
questions.
Okay. Yeah, so as this sits right now, I'm not in favor of it, just because I can't see aging people going up and down stairs, especially with laundry baskets.
The original owners are going to stay.
Like, I'm going to hold you just because we're going to comment,
Okay.
and then we can figure it out at the
Okay.
end, all right?
Yep.
So you're a no at this point.
Yes.
Corinne, out to you.
The plans, the way they currently are, I would be a no. This is an oversized EFLA too, so maybe some of that additional space that you have up there, you can use to rework the stairs. Our EFLAs are capped at 750 square feet, so maybe the additional square footage you could use to rework those stairs. I agree, the design, the way it stands now, doesn't really fit within our EFLA rules, so I would be a no right now too.
Okay, and, you know, so Mr. Bean, you don't have the votes currently. I'll just, my comments, would be kinda, I think I already made them, but, you know, the other thing, we didn't really get anything in the narrative of like who this would be for or anything of that nature, and usually, and not that that sways our decision, but we don't even know, you know, is this for elderly parents? And it, you know, not all EFLAs are, right? Sometimes it's a brother or an uncle or somebody, some immediate family member. But at this point, you don't have the votes to get it. I agree with Corinne that maybe if you could rework the plan somehow to do stairs inside rather, and maybe downsize the size of the EFLA. It doesn't mean, I'm okay if it was over 750 slightly to get the stairs inside. But again, I just think it's difficult having second floor EFLAs in general. So I'm also a no at this point, but you know, perhaps you want a continuance and you can kind of rework this and come back?
Yes, please, if we could do that.
Okay, our next meeting is October 30th. If that is too soon, we could push you out to November 13th.
If you'd allow me on the 30th, I can be ready.
Yep, we would just need plans the Tuesday prior.
Okay.
It's not much time.
It's not much time, but
That's okay.
you're quick with your pencils, so.
I got a lot of erases.
Brian, if you could help me out, what would that date be, the Tuesday prior to the 30th?
24th,
24th. Okay,
a week from tomorrow.
okay.
Week from tomorrow. You're okay with that?
I'll get it done.
All right, could I get a motion to continue this case till October 30th?
Mr. Chairman, I propose that we continue this case to the October 30th meeting.
I'll second.
I got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thanks.
thank you.
Thanks, Mike. All right. Give me 1 second. Brian, do you think you could ask him to try to turn Corinne up? Just in the room. Okay, Mr. Chairman, next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next case is 156 Hobart Street, zoned R2. Request for a special permit from Section 9.2 to create a detached external family living area larger than 750 square feet. Request is made by Tracy Hope Ross, docket 23-5040.
Is anybody here on 156 Hobart? Hi, I hope you were listening to everything we just said.
I certainly was.
If you could, just introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like to do.
I'm Tracy Hope-Ross. I live at 156 Hobart, and I'd like to put an extended living apartment on the second floor of my detached garage.
And you're before us because,
It will be over 750 feet.
and that size is what, 1,040? Is that
1,000,
what I
just over
see?
1,000, yes.
Okay. All right, well, you heard some of the comments we just had on the prior EFLA.
I did.
Unless you have some other details you'd like to give us, like who this would be for and that kind of, is that in your narrative?
Yes.
Okay,
It's for my parents.
your parents, okay. All right, and if you don't have anything else, I'll put it out to the board for questions.
Okay, sure.
All right, Corinne, we'll start with you.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, sure, hold on, Corinne.
my mom is here.
Oh, hi, Mom. Okay, great. Corinne, go ahead.
I am looking at the plans that have been drawn for you, in addition to, it looks like a set of plans that was prepared for the garage when it was first built. And I am just wondering, there are stairs inside. Will you also have a second set of stairs on the exterior of the building?
Yes, on the rear of the building where the deck is, there'll be a set of stairs coming down from the deck.
Okay, so your parents would either be able to, like, raise the garage doors, walk in, go up the set of stairs, the internal stairs, or they could go around to the back and go up the set of stairs in the rear.
Right, but we wouldn't have to raise the garage doors.
Please identify yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lois Morrison, Tracy's mother.
Hi, Mom.
Hi. There are two exterior actually, there are two exterior doors on the garage. Is one on the other side, too?
No, they're just two.
Regular doors, so we
Speak
wouldn't
right
have
into
to
the
open
microphone
garage
so
doors.
she can hear you at home. Did I hear two exterior doors?
There are two exterior doors and 3 garage doors on the first floor of the garage, so my parents could use either the doors or the garage doors to get inside
Okay.
the building.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Corinne, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Any additional?
That's it.
Okay, Ken J.
I just also wanted to point out that this would be for my husband and myself, and we are 74 years old, but the stairs are not an issue for us.
For you.
For me,
And
not
that
for
is
my
great.
husband.
And congrats on that, because I know health is everything, right?
Yep.
That's awesome.
They're not
Again,
that
and I will just, you'll probably hear this or have heard it before, but just understand this is a special permit, so this goes with the property. So if the property were ever to be sold, one of the things we try to ensure is it's not abused down the road. It is deed restricted for that reason, but there's ways around that, and we try to make sure that doesn't happen. Ken J, over to you.
So where is the shared space going to be? Is that the storage area? Or,
There, sorry, I'll interrupt here. There is no shared space because this is a detached structure. So detached structures cannot offer a shared space. So there's no way to have a shared space in this
okay,
place.
but that's one of the stipulations of,
And that's why they're applying for a
yeah,
special permit.
okay. I guess I have no other questions.
Thank you, Ken. Ken Schultz.
No questions.
Jeff.
I have no questions.
Okay.
Thanks, Jeff. I guess, so I did visit your property. I guess the only thing, so there's no changes happening to the building itself? This is all interior work?
There's no change to the structure of the building. It's interior work. There may be a change to 1 or 2 windows to accommodate the
inside.
walls.
Yep.
And then there's the deck being built on the outside, but
At the rear of the
the
exterior?
rear of the house, yes, the
And
rear of
that's
the garage. I
not
mean.
going to encroach any setbacks at the rear?
No,
Okay.
no, I have acreage back there, so
And the
there's no-
garage is conforming with setbacks currently?
Yes.
It
it's
is.
a beautiful garage.
Thank you.
What's that?
It's actually a beautiful garage.
They did
Yeah.
a very good job, yes. I just
Okay.
bought it last year, so yes.
And you've owned the building how long?
Since October of last year,
Okay, so you just newly purchased.
yes.
Okay. I don't think I have any additional questions. I'll go out to the public on this. This is for 156 Hobart Street. If anybody would like to speak or be heard? No? And I will say, it's hard to see your number. I'll just throw that out there for you.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I thought it was,
Oh,
but I
okay.
was also right at dusk, so.
Oh.
You may, again, more for the fire department than anything.
Okay, sure. It's
So,
it's a
I don't know how
brand new
to
number. We'll
correct
make
that.
sure it's sure.
All right, and no additional questions from the board? All right, Corinne, I'll start with you. We're going to deliberate on this outflow for 156 Hobart.
Okay, I do not think that this is really in keeping with the rules and requirements with regard to EFLAs. I think the space is too big. There's going to be a deck on the back. It lends itself to a separate apartment. I usually try to be a little bit stricter even with detached structures because of the fact that there is no common space. you know, the plans aren't really very defined, but, you know, I do think that the 2 bedrooms are a bit much, and I would not vote for this the way the plan has been presented to us tonight.
Thank you, Corinne. Ken J.
Yeah, I have an issue with the stairs, the second story, as people age and stuff. It will be hard, and maybe not now, but you look very, very young and fit. But it's like later on, you know. But that's just the conundrum with getting old, and that's what it's for. It's a base. Well, I guess there's other relatives that can live there, but usually it's like, you know, parents and stuff, and then the common area issue as well and stuff. So I pretty much agree with Corinne that I wouldn't vote for this for same reasons.
Well, again, just a clarification. So where it's a detached structure, we don't require a common area.
That's right,
So,
that's right.
Okay.
Yes, so.
Ken, yes.
Thank you. So, as you saw with our last applicant, you know, he was borderline. He was getting a lot of no's, and that was attached to the building. So, this is completely detached from the building. So, for that reason, I'm a no.
Okay. Jeff.
Yeah, I have a problem with the building being detached. In this case, you know, it's too big, and it lends itself too easily to become an illegal apartment, so I'm a no on this one.
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, I have to agree with my fellow board members. I think, and again, I admire the health of your parents, and that's great for you moving forward, I think, right? So, however,
For me, yes.
I think in order for me to be okay with this, I would want to see it come in at the required 750 square feet. I think I might be more inclined to vote for it if it were holding to that piece of our bylaw. But for other reasons, as I've already stated, I just think second floor EFLAs don't lend themselves for the use that the EFLA is intended for. Not with you, but down the road. However, so you don't have the votes. You could continue this and try to rework your plan, or you can withdraw without prejudice, or we could take a vote. But as I pointed out at the top, if we do vote and you're denied, you wouldn't be able to come back before us for 2 years.
I mean, the space is what it is. It's 1,000 square feet up there on the second floor. I mean, is there
Well,
is there any way for me to rework it? I guess my question is there any way for me to rework it to make you more comfortable with the fact that it's detached, or is the fact that it's detached means it's
No,
right out?
we have definitely in the past allowed detached EFLAs. Not very many second floor, so I think that's something you're kind of fighting. We can't design it for you, obviously,
Right,
and nor do we want
right.
to. I think the fact that it's 2-bedroom, I think if there were a way to knock out some of the space, bring it down closer to 750, maybe
Yeah.
lose one of the bedrooms, that's just some
Yeah.
input from me, but
Yep.
it's really up to you.
Okay.
But I think as presented right now, you don't have the votes to pass it, so
Okay.
what would you like to do? We
Let's-
can continue it
Let's
as we...
continue. Let's continue it.
Would you like to go at the date of October 30th, or you want a little more time out to November 13th?
What do you want to do, Mom? The 30th? Okay, if it's okay, we'll take the 30th.
Okay, could I get a
Okay.
motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I propose we continue this case until our meeting of October 30th.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, we'll see you on the 30th. Be sure the update gets into the planning department on
24th.
the
24th.
24th, next Tuesday.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
luck.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Clerk, I think I called you Mr. Chairman last time, so. But we are moving along, so on to our next one.
All right, our next case is 99 Dayton Street, zoned R3. Request for a special permit to operate a major home occupation and no appeal fines, and to appeal fines levied by the zoning enforcement officer for operating a major home occupation and the parking of trucks and trailers on site. Request is made by Michael Jones, docket 23-5041.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hi,
Michael
good evening.
Jones. Hi. So,
That's what you're looking to do.
well, there's a bit,
Just identify yourself if you could,
yes, as I stated, Michael Jones,
and your address.
99 Dayton Street.
Thank you.
I guess my first question, because I'm a bit unfamiliar with this, is the actual clarification of a major home occupation. I did do some research in reference to what is being deemed as a major home occupation, and it states that when you have an outside employees and when you use a larger portion of the property to run your business.
Okay, well, let me just hold up just a second. What you're requesting from this board is a special permit. How it's deemed, I think, is more something that was set between yourself and the planning department. We don't.
Right.
We don't tell you why, what piece of the special permit it is, but in our bylaws, I guess it defines what a major home occupation is. And I will go out to our planning director. Brian, do we feel that this special permit request falls under that?
So it falls under the performance standards for a special permit. I can bring it up here in a second, but it had to do with not meeting the performance standards for commercial vehicles because there was more than one commercial vehicle and more than one trailer that was located on site. So that was what started it.
That's what triggered it.
Yeah.
Correct.
it
Okay,
was-
so we're clear on that part. So the
yes.
reason this request was made by our planning department is because you had more than one commercial vehicle.
Correct.
And trailers.
and more than one trailer.
And more than one trailer. So that's what
At
kicked
the
it in
time, yeah.
to a special permit request.
Right, which I do see down below here, that, the request to be able to park the trucks and trailers on site. I just wanted to get more clarification because a decline or approval based off of it being a major home occupation, I just didn't want that to cloud anything because what I'm being informed as what a major home occupation is and what I actually do with my trucks and trailers there, I don't feel are the same thing.
They're not.
So
My,
if you-
my company is an on-site service business, so I perform all of my work off-site. I come home at the end of the day and I park my trucks as if I worked for somebody else, and I just leave them in my driveway till the next
Yeah, I
morning.
guess from our perspective, the
Yeah.
zoning board,
Yeah.
we're only triggered to look at this because the application filed
Right.
and with input from the planning department. So
So
I
what,
think I understand what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
You're not technically, in your spin on this, is you're not really a major home occupation. However, the planning department's telling us you need a special permit because you do have more than one commercial
Yes.
vehicle and more than one trailer. So I think that's pretty clear to all of us.
Okay.
And the planning
Yeah,
department.
good, I just wanted to make
Let-
sure
let-
that
let me,
that was,
yep.
yeah.
Yeah, we know you're not performing any work on
Yeah,
site.
we know it's not,
It's
you
simply
know,
the
it's not a
vehicles.
contractor yard, it's not, yeah,
Right.
we get that piece of
It's,
it.
it's
good.
clean, like, it's simply the vehicles.
Okay.
Period.
So I think we're all on the same page there.
Perfect.
Okay, keep going. What else can you tell us before we ask questions?
Yeah, we moved into the house in April of 2022, and immediately applied for a permit to have the driveway extended half moon in the front yard behind the trees, because the sole purpose was to have the trucks and trailers there. The process took maybe 3 or 4 weeks, because they weren't accepting permits, I believe, until the 15th of April. And we ran into 2 or 3 issues with a neighbor across the street, because at the time, we had to park the trucks and trailers along the side. You were at the house yesterday, you know where the white privacy fence is? We were parking them as close as possible to the fence with the other vehicle on Putnam Street in a neighbor's yard, which they were allowing us to leave there until that time came.
Yeah, I don't think,
Yeah.
so we don't have jurisdiction over the street.
Right, which is
So,
fine. It's-
and I understand, I think where, this, how this kind of got started, right? It's
Yeah, that's how
probably-
it got started. So the reason why I was explaining that is because I applied for the permit immediately to have that driveway built for the sole purpose of putting the vehicles there.
Right, but you understand, though, just having the driveway there doesn't exempt you from the bylaw, which is one commercial vehicle, one trailer.
Right.
Okay, so
Would
just so
be-
we're all clear.
Right, no, I understand that
Okay,
completely.
so I understand the delay, you've
Had I
pointed out.
known that that was going to be an issue when I spoke with DPW, maybe we could have figured something
Yeah,
out
I
at
don't
that
think
time.
it's not DPW's place, though, to
Okay,
tell you.
all right,
You know,
I
they,
didn't know that. So I guess my request is to have the permission to have the vehicles in the trailers parked there. Now, with that said, I am in the process of selling the smaller of the two trailers.
All right, well, just to help this board out, so
Yes.
how many vehicles are we talking, and
I
how many
have
trailers
two
are we
Ford
talking?
F-250s,
All
which...
right, well, I don't need,
Well, the reason I say that is because they're not box trucks, they're not dump trucks,
Okay,
they're
so
not
for-
commercial vehicles, they just have commercial plates on them.
okay, so 4 commercial plated
Two.
vehicles.
Oh, yes, yeah, the two trucks and the two trailers.
2
Correct.
trucks, 2 trailers.
Right,
Okay,
right. Again, they're not deemed commercial vehicles other than the license plates.
gotcha.
So,
And what else? Anything else you're looking to store on the site?
No, nothing that I've been told is an issue, no.
All right, and tell us about, because there's an appeal check here, checked off for the fines. Why do you feel like we should overturn the fines?
Because I made multiple visits to the town hall on my off time to try and get some clarification as to what needed to be done for filing these papers, and I was running into difficulty working through the system online to get it done. I had to make 4 or 5 visits to the town hall, and with being a small business owner, it's very difficult for me to get there in time. I previously, when this first came out, I met with Georgia, who I believe works at the town hall, and she had said that she had other commercial businesses that used off-site parking spaces. She was going to provide me with the information, which I never received. I personally thought that it wasn't going to be a big issue because I never heard back from her, and it wasn't until I received the paperwork in the mail that I started making my visits to town hall when I had the availability.
All right, well, let me
It just
let,
ran past the time that...
Let me let our planning director respond to that. I can tell you a more, I think it takes, I think the town goes out of its way to not issue fines, to try to work with you, but I have a feeling this is probably based on the amount of time that elapsed. But let Brian
Probably
chime
is,
in,
correct.
if you could, Brian.
Yeah, the first violation letter went out from an inspection report in April 27th of this year.
Okay.
And then a following letters went out May, June, and July, saying that they need to file a ZBA application or remove the trucks and trailers to have only one commercial vehicle and one trailer. So it's been.
And then when
since
did we
April.
actually get an application?
Then we received an application. We received the application on September 15th.
Okay. Well, okay, so
If I
Mr.
could-
Jones, I
yeah.
think, so from our perspective, again, that the town notified you in May, regardless of the driveway issues and all that,
Yeah, yeah.
and information that seems like didn't really get in your hands about the conversation you started with other staff down there. But I'll let the other board members will speak as
Yeah.
to this as well, but I think it's hard to overturn any fines they issued, because I think they were pretty lenient,
had
where you
multiple
got letters,
visits
well, hold on, let
during
me
that,
finish.
yeah.
They did send letters May, June, and July, and we didn't get an application till September.
But you did get my presence on multiple occasions to
To get
speak-
what?
I personally went to town hall every time to speak with them about going through the process.
Well,
It wasn't until I actually started to speak to
Yeah,
Brian
yeah.
that I actually
But I
started
think
to
that-
get the proper information.
Okay, but the
Proper
town,
information was not provided to me from the people that I was speaking with. Brian was the only one that was able to help me through this, and
well, I
that
think the
wasn't until
letter spelled
September.
out the information, did it
Yes,
not?
but the online system that you guys have is extremely unuser-friendly.
There is no online system
Well,
for the
to go
ZBA.
through the process, I was told by the other Brian to go through I was given, I was sat right down there with him, and I put it right in my phone, step by step, how I was to go through the process online to do it. And every time I would go home to do that, there was an issue. So then as soon as I had another free moment, I went back to town hall. Like I said, it wasn't until about the fourth time that I actually met with him that we started making progress.
Okay,
So it's
well,
not like
I'm not here to
intentionally-
deny any of that.
Yeah, I didn't
but-
intentionally avoid.
Okay, and again, the other board members will chime in, but
Yeah.
I just wanted to kind of understand the two pieces of this. So one is fines, and one is, how many trucks and trailers you're looking to store on the property. Do you have anything else you want to present to us before I turn it over for questions?
Not that I can think of right now, thank you.
Okay. I will start down there with you, Jeff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So,
That's a lot to unpack.
yeah, it's a lot to unpack. So,
Yeah.
have you pursued the idea of storing these trailers at a commercially appropriate site?
Well, my intention is to sell the other trailer, and I do have it posted for sale now. So that would leave only one truck and trailer and another pickup truck.
Right.
If I needed to pull the commercial tags off of it and put personal plates on it, I will. So that'll void,
Well, you understand that, I mean, as the zoning board, we're here to respect everyone in the neighborhood's rights to a clean, nice neighborhood.
Yes.
I mean, it has nothing to do with your commercial endeavors or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So the best outcome for this board would be for you to not have to worry about selling your equipment and finding another place that's not a residential driveway to put it in. I just
the other
asking-
trailer is just a backup trailer in the event that the equipment malfunctions. So,
Well, again, though, Mr.
I don't
Jones, you're
have a
telling us
problem.
about the operation of your business. We're not here to debate
Okay.
that. We're just here to enforce town bylaws.
We're here to try to clean up
Right,
the
and the bylaws clearly say one trailer,
And
one
one
truck. And that's the only reason you're before us. If you had one trailer and one truck, there'd be no need to have fines by the town. There'd be no need for you to have a special permit. But you're asking and have had that type of operation already, right? So we're here to try to work this out, see if we can figure it out with you.
Yeah.
And clarify any, I guess, misinformation with how do we best proceed. So we're here, we're on your side.
Thank
But
you.
we're also on the town's,
Sure.
and we're a volunteer board, right? We're here
Yeah.
to try to figure this out, so.
and I do, everything that I did leading up to this point was to try and shelter the equipment. I purposely built that driveway for the, yeah. And I
Again,
understand what you're saying.
but
I
we're
did-
only here
I
because you
know-
have more
Right.
than what is allowed.
Correct.
All right, no matter what your efforts were.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Continue, Jeff.
I have no further questions,
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Ken Schultz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So is Whitney Kramer here? And you're the owner of the property? You're okay with?
Have her come to the mic. Come on up and speak and identify yourself, please.
And you're okay
Whitney
with
Kramer.
Wait a
everything?
minute, let her say for the record.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
For the record, your name, please?
Whitney Kramer,
Thank you. And you're the owner at 99 Dayton?
I am.
Thank you.
So, and you're okay with everything he's
Yeah.
doing? Okay. So you said you have 2 trucks and you have 2 trailers?
Correct.
And you're getting rid of a trailer?
Correct.
So if you parked a truck and a trailer in the driveway, why couldn't you park one of the trucks on the street?
Because.
The neighbor called every
across
time.
the street was called the police and wouldn't allow it parked there.
Why? It's a public street.
Because he's saying that, when they back out, it creates an obstruction.
Well, that's probably some truth to that, right? I don't think they're making that
Yes,
up,
yeah,
right?
there was some truth.
Is there
to
other
that.
locations on the public way?
Location.
On the street?
Is there other places?
Other locations that you
Correct.
could move to?
Wait, I'm sorry?
Could you park somewhere else that it didn't, get in his way?
I mean, I could park the second truck on Putnam Street, which is the corner street. We're on the corner. If I needed to take the other vehicle and park it on the street there, I could.
You know you're allowed to park a pickup truck on the street.
Yes. I can't park it on Dayton Street because.
I think I just did the solution for you. I have no further questions.
Is Dayton Street, no public parking? Is that why?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Dayton Street is no public parking?
I don't know that.
No, it just sounds like his
No.
neighbor has a problem with the restriction.
Yeah.
It doesn't say no parking, but
And, yeah,
people
there are
don't
no
really park
there
on
are no parking restrictions,
No
I
parking
believe, on
restrictions.
Dayton
On
Street.
Dayton. Okay.
And I moved the equipment just to try and be a neighborly person.
Right.
Okay, let me flip it over to you, Ken J.
Just to grant the permit, then it's done.
There's not a lot of parking on the street on Dayton, though, because, I mean, I went by there too. There's one spot where I actually parked right by your house.
By the bushes.
Yeah. But that's about it. That's all I could see. So, I mean, I personally would rather see the trucks and trailers on, the property. If you have the space, I mean, I would be willing to vote for, well, you said you're going to get rid of one
I
trailer.
plan on getting rid of the other trailer. That doesn't mean down the road I might want to get a second one, but as of right now, that other trailer doesn't have a purpose for me.
Just stop talking.
Yeah, I think it's more of a nuisance if you're parking on the street because it is very thin. So, I mean, I would vote for the two F-250s and a trailer to, be on your property if you had the room.
So Ken, you'd like a condition that this would be limited to 2 trucks and 2 trailers?
Well, I thought it was 2 trucks and 1 trailer because he's going to get rid of.
Well, I'm just
Oh, well.
asking you, what are you going to ask of the applicant?
All right, well, I guess the 2 trailers, because you have those now, and we have to put a time limit on whatever. I guess I'm fine if they have the room to keep these vehicles there. It's not heavy-duty excavation equipment. It's just 2, F-250s.
And 2 trailers.
And 2 small trailers. I'm fine with that if it's on their property.
And you'd take that as a condition? Yeah.
And also, I think there is we should probably try to work with the fines a little bit too, because we know how, if we could.
No,
Oh,
so
ask your questions.
very quickly. So every time that we ever issue, every time you grant a special permit or a variance for something related to an enforcement order, the fines get erased.
Okay.
If you vote against it, the fines are at play.
Forced, okay.
So, and I just want to say one thing in addition. There have never been any issues with cleanliness, with things anywhere. The place is always clean, very clean. I want to make that very clear that there's no issues there.
Yep.
This was an extremely, very simple problem. You're allowed 1 truck and 1 trailer. There were 2 trucks and 2 trailers. So
Okay.
we kept sending letters to get them to get the trailers and trucks off or apply. So
Or
that's why
apply.
we're here.
And that's why we're here. Okay, that makes sense. More questions?
Nope.
Okay, Karina, I'll go out to you.
Well, now I'm confused. Mr. Sekeli just said that there were 2 trucks and 2 trailers, but I thought Mr. Jones said that he had 4 commercial vehicles. Does that mean 2 trailers and 2 trucks?
Correct. 2 trucks, 2 trailers, 4 vehicles.
I think what he was saying, Karine, and you can correct me, Mr. Jones, if I'm wrong, he has 4 vehicles that have commercial plates, not necessarily commercial, what I guess could be deemed as a commercial. But again, we're not here to debate that, right? But that's
No,
splitting
no.
hairs from zoning perspective. Our bylaw says they're allowed 1 of each. He's over that and has been, and that's what triggered the letters.
Okay, and one of the reasons why I am asking that, I went out to view this property, and it looked as if there were more than 2 trucks that were parked there. So I don't know if it's 2 trucks, 2 trailers, other cars.
There are 2
and
other
also-
cars.
Well, let her ask her
Excuse
question.
me?
There are 2 other cars.
But they're residential vehicles, they're not commercial vehicles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, Mr. Jones, you must drive one of the trucks with the trailer on it, correct?
Correct.
Who drives the other one? Does that person
Well,
come to
I
you?
mean, my employees.
Into the mic, if you could, Mr.
Oh.
Jones.
I have employees that drive the vehicles when necessary.
Well, do they drive to your house and then leave their personal vehicles on your street get in the truck and then drive?
Correct.
How does that work?
Yes, they meet me at the location, and then at the end of the day, they drive themselves home.
And where do they park?
They park
So where did-
along the side of Putnam Street.
Okay. Okay, so those people that live along the street are not only dealing with, your 2 trucks and your 2 trailers and the other cars, but they're also dealing with people who work for you parking on the street too. So, I can see why they would be somewhat concerned with this situation, with just too many vehicles.
Well, if I could say, please, there's many vehicles that park in those spots on Putnam Street. Police officers for details, other neighbors. So I'm not the only person that has guests parking vehicles there. So it's a location.
But most people don't have their guests parking there for 8 hours every day, or Monday through Friday. And that's it. I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Corinne. Mr. Jones, when I did visit the property, one of the trailers has a plate on it, but it's not a valid plate. So talk to me about that one, because
it should be valid, because
it's expired in 2022.
Oh, then it just doesn't have the sticker on it yet, because I just renewed all of them.
I'm just telling you what I saw.
Thank you. I appreciate you letting me know. I probably
All
just
right,
haven't opened up the mail, but I
so-
just did it all at the registry.
Okay, so if I heard you right, you would be willing to take in condition that you would have no more than 2 trucks and 2 trailers, although I find that really hard to enforce. And again, we try to, render decisions here that aren't going to become a nightmare for the planning department and our police department, right? Because I'm sure you don't want your neighbors calling every time you have a 3rd truck there or a 3rd trailer.
Could I?
Well, let me, hold on. So my question to you is, in most situations, and I'm assuming your business is doing well, and as Corinne noted, and I noted yesterday, there are other regular vehicles on the property. So you have a lot going on there. And, why not try to rent a parking lot or something where these type things could be stored?
One of the biggest difficulties that I run into with my business is timing.
I'm sorry?
Timing.
Timing, okay.
Because we're in the removal business, constantly dealing with businesses, vendors that we use that close early. They might be open from 5 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. So we have to start our days by doing many things prior to getting to the first client's house. If we had to go to an off-site to get the equipment, it would add another half hour or so to our mornings, and it would create a huge problem in timing for our clients.
Okay, well, but you can understand, as a neighbor, whoever your neighbors are, and maybe there's some here to speak, this is a lot to digest if I'm just somebody trying to have peaceful enjoyment in my backyard, for instance. When you have kind of this constant motion of commercial vehicles, employees coming to take commercial vehicles, parking, this kind of stuff. So I think you can kind of understand that, and that was the basis of that question. I think I have a clear picture of what has transpired to this point and why you're before us. So I don't have any additional questions, and unless the board doesn't have any others, I'll open it up to the public.
I think
I want to say something.
Yep,
He
go ahead.
has 2 employees. It's not like a group of 5 or 6.
But again, I understand that, but this is a residential home. This isn't a commercial.
I get it, but one of those vehicles that are parked there would still have to come to and from, even if he had an off-site. You have to drive a vehicle there and back. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not sure I'm following you.
So even if his
I live
vehicles
on
were
a
parked
residential
off,
street.
he
I don't have anybody coming to my house every day to pick up anything. It's just me, in my car. So you are kind of asking, for lack of better words, although
this is
I
a
understand. Well,
similar
let me
situation
finish. You are asking for a major home occupation here. You're asking for your. Let me finish. You're asking for your home to function as a business, but it's a residential neighborhood. It's not zoned that way. Your neighbors didn't purchase in your neighborhood knowing there was a business next door. So I'm just saying, see it from both sides, as if that makes sense.
I have another question. What if could we park, like rent a residential spot from a neighbor?
No, that's
That
not
has no
something we
commercial
permit in our
vehicles?
bylaws, I'm pretty sure. We don't even allow that on the commercial side. So we don't allow, without permit.
I mean, if I worked off-site for somebody else.
Yeah.
And I was with a group of people carpooling, they would still come to my residence, park their vehicles, and we'd all travel in one car every day.
But they wouldn't be commercial vehicles.
No,
And
we're not
that's the only
talking about
reason
the
you're here.
commercial. I'm talking about my employees. You're saying there's a lot going on with employees coming and going every day, so.
You're correct.
Right, so
But
it's
that's not
really
why
just-
we're not here because your neighbors had a problem with non-commercial vehicles. We're here because of the commercial vehicles. So I just want to make sure we're clear. And I'm sorry, were you going to say something, Brian?
So I just want to make clear that yes, they would still be applying for a special permit for a home occupation, but it's not as if the business is being run out of this
Correct.
home.
I think we got
It's-
that part.
Yeah, it's just
It's just the vehicle
Parking of-
aspect of
parking
it,
of
the
vehicles.
vehicles and trailers.
yeah.
And he's agreed to take a condition to limit that to 2 and 2, is what I'm hearing. And get that unregistered trailer squared away.
Yeah, it's registered. It's just we haven't received the paperwork from the
Get
registry
the
yet.
sticker on it.
Yeah,
Okay. If there's no other questions from the board, I'll open this up to the public. If anybody's here to speak on 99 Dayton Street. No neighbors here. Okay, well, yeah, we'll start with you in the front. If you could just yield the mic for them, please.
My name's Alan Cole. I live at 102 Dayton Street, right across the street
Hi,
from
Mr.
99. I'm against the special permit.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I think right there. Yep, come on up.
Mitch Abatessa, 4 Putnam Lane, direct abutter to Mr. Jones. First off, I'd like to say my dad had a small business, Mike, so I understand. But I would also like to say that I've been living on Putnam Lane since 2003, when I bought my house. And it's a residential neighborhood, and it should stay a residential neighborhood. I don't think that running a business, whatever the reason is, out of a residence in a residential zone should happen. It's against the bylaws. Again, like you said at the previous cases that came up ahead of us, if this gets approved, it goes down the road. The next house, the next buyer could buy this house, and then they could start changing things and making things different and running a different type of business out
Well,
of
just
it.
a point of clarification, they can't change anything without coming before this board again.
I'm
So,
sorry.
So if we issued the special permit and he's already agreed to accept the conditions, nobody can veer from that, this owner or future owners.
But it would essentially, if it does get approved, it would give the next owner approval to run a commercial business
Special
out of the
permit
residence.
doesn't run
Not
with
to-
the
not
owner.
to
It
run.
stays with this owner.
Stays
Only
just-
only a
yeah.
variance continues with
Yeah,
the
once,
property.
so just, again, another clarification, if the house were sold, the special permit would cease to exist.
Okay. The other thing too, does it have to be in the owner's name?
That's a
Mr. Jones
good
is not
question.
on the
Does
deed.
what have to be in the
Yeah,
owner's name?
he's
The
at-
business.
so this is not the owner requesting this, this is really Mr. Jones.
No, the owner, so there's an applicant and there's an owner. Sometimes they're the same.
Again, so it's theoretically like possibly renting or, well, not renting, but like, so I'm sorry, you give him the clarification.
Yeah, so typically the applicant is the owner, but many times when someone's renting, this is routine, put it that way. The idea that there's one applicant and that the owner is not the applicant, that means nothing. That's
I
nothing.
apologize for even that. I wasn't too sure about that. That's
No.
why I was up
That's all
there.
right, that's why we're here, figure it all out.
Again, the residential neighborhood with the commercial business. This is not what we signed up for. We went through other things with other issues that have come before the board, which is not what we're talking about now. But I would like the town to keep this a residential neighborhood and not approve this business.
Okay, you're
Thank
not
you.
in favor. Thank you. And Brian, again, just maybe for my own and the board's clarification, if Mr. Jones were to no longer rent this property, that does not end the special permit? It stays with the property until Ms. Kramer were no longer the owner? Do I have that right?
So, no, so this special permit, if issued, would be issued to the applicant.
Okay, Mr. Jones.
For specific vehicles for a specific
Address.
business.
Okay.
A1, sorry, what, the business name, sorry? AAA, sorry. So the special permit would be to Michael Jones, the applicant, care of AAA Cleanout.
Yep.
Another company would not be able to have 2 commercial vehicles and 2 trailers there after the resident ceases to live there.
If he were to leave?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's specific to the property.
It's specific to the property and specific to that
Also
business.
Specific to him, right.
Specific to the property and the business?
And
Yeah, yeah.
business.
Very good. Okay, any additional questions from the public? Yep, right over there.
Hank Farrell, 7 Putnam Lane. I've been living on Putnam Lane since 2010. I am against this permit more so for the fact that the property, yes, he moved in, put 2 trucks and 2 trailers, and was immediately informed that it was not proper. 1 truck and 1 trailer sat there for over a year, did not move, with debris that had been put into it from some job, and debris all around the trailer. His employees do park on Putnam Lane, and it's right down at the end, and it makes it extremely difficult for people entering and exiting Putnam Lane when there are no cars there. So, and as Mitch said, it may not be a commercial permit, but to run an operation there, but it certainly appears that way. And it may seem to be off-site, but it's not totally off-site. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Anyone else here on 99 Dayton Street? Yep.
My name is Gail Osgood. I'm here on behalf of my husband, Herbert Osgood. He's lived on Dayton Street.
Live on Dayton as well?
We are 98 Dayton Street. We own 100 Dayton Street and 100 Rear. And honestly and truly, there's several things I could say. In Mrs. Usaconis's house, straight across from the second person with the glasses on there spoke, the son that lives in that house's car is louder than any vehicle that comes down Dayton Street. And there are a lot of kids who run their pipes because Dayton Street is fun to do it on. And also, I can see the part about 2 vehicles because it's 2 pickup trucks, and you can barely see them from the street behind the shrubs. And his problems did start when his vehicles were on the street and he couldn't move them. And I even spoke to him. But my grandson and I and my husband, we walked behind his cars instead of those trucks sitting there, instead of walking out on the street. And as far as the 2 employees that work for him, they can park at my house. They're a privately registered vehicle, correct?
Sure, yep.
We have a circular driveway that is very large, and nobody backs out, everybody pulls out. Also, there have been a lot of noise, and I'm going to make, my husband's lived there since 1945, when he was born. I came to live on Dayton Street. When we got married, we lived on Water Street, which you want to talk about a busy street and parking on the street, and people parked on Water Street, and the cars had to go around them. Now on Dayton Street, we moved there in 1979. And I will say, this is the first, well, there was one other one. When Dana Chase did one of his developments right next to us, which is Brook Circle, we did speak at that because they were going to build a different type of driveway The culverts weren't acceptable as they were, and Dana spoke on my behalf, talked about me, and it made me very angry. Don't let somebody else speak for me. And that's why I'm here now, because I honestly felt, with the people that are sitting over there, this was all a plan from the beginning. And I know I sound fresh, but there's stuff going on the yard next to me that I haven't complained about.
Let's keep it to
So I-
99 Dayton
okay.
Street.
So
So
I
I'm
will
trying
say-
to understand though, so you're,
I won't object.
you're for this application?
I am for this applicant, and
Okay.
if they don't like the cars on Putnam Lane, they can park in our circular driveway.
Well, we're
for
not
the
looking
day.
for that. I think we're just looking for
Well,
input on this.
I'm saying they could, if that were necessary.
Understood.
But I also learned from this that we couldn't offer a parking space to him.
That's correct, you
As a
cannot.
commercial.
Yes.
So that was the other thing, but you already answered that.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? 99 Dayton Street. Okay, I will close the public comment portion of the meeting at this time. Did I start with you, Jeff?
I don't remember.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. That's why I pay you the big bucks. Okay, if I could have the applicant just back up to the microphone, just in case. So is there any, no additional questions out of the board? Corrine, do you have any additional questions?
I have one for the planning department, Mr. Chair. May
Sure,
I
go
ask my
ahead.
question? Mr. Sekeli, even though this is restricted to the applicant, if we grant this this special permit and he decided he wanted to, I guess like open an office in the home because he has this special permit, would he be able to do that and actually run the business because we've allowed this special permit?
So the special permit will just enumerate the idea that whatever the conditions are, meaning that 2 trucks and 2 trailers for AAA cleanout would be allowed to park on site. So any other, additional offices or anything else they would have to come back to modify that special permit.
So we're not really granting a major home occupation as requested here. We're just granting an override, basically, of our bylaw of 1-in-1 commercial vehicles.
Specifically, it's an override of the performance standards related to a home occupation.
That's why you're the big dog.
So
you
big.
know this stuff without looking it up. Okay,
Thank
Corrine, does
you.
that make sense?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that clarification.
Okay, and any other additional questions before we deliberate? Jeff, Ken?
No.
Ken J?
Nope.
All right. Okay, let's let it rip. Jeff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm not comfortable with granting this special permit. It's plenty of businesses find places for their vehicles to park, and I just don't think it's appropriate for the neighborhood, so I'm a no.
Okay, thank you. Ken Scholes?
Thank you. I think I created a solution for you. I mean, you said you're gonna get rid of a trailer. There's your first problem solved. You can park one of your trucks on the street. It's a public street. So if you parked one of your pickups on the street, I know you might have to put it in a spot, you might have to walk a little bit, but problem solved.
What do I do when there's
We're not taking questions right now.
So I would rather not grant the special permit.
Okay.
I think he has a solution.
Okay, so you are a no.
No.
Thank you. Ken J?
I'm a yes with the condition of
2 and 2.
Yeah, 2 and 2. 2 trailers, 2 F-250s, because I don't want to see, I'd rather not have them
On
like
the
parking
street.
on the street. I
Yeah.
think that's worse. I mean, they're behind the shrubberies. It was a big driveway.
Well, I think that's the quandary here, right?
Yeah,
So-
yeah. So I'm,
All right, so you would agree to it as long as the conditions of 2 trucks and no more than 2 trucks and 2 trailers.
correct.
Commercially registered. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. And Corrine?
I'm a no. If the rule is 1 truck, one trailer, then that's what the rule is. So 1 truck, 1 trailer, that's it. I'm a no on the special permit.
Okay. So, Mr. Jones, you don't have the votes regardless of my own. My comments would be, it's kind of a tough situation. I do agree. I did visit your property. And I'm okay. I mean, lots of people have personal vehicles, and it looks like you have, actually, one of the cars look, I don't know, 72 Monte Carlo or something. I don't know.
GTO.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to misrepresent. You know, and I can see your, you know, a lot of people have those type of vehicles, and you're allowed to. But I think I'd probably be okay with the 2 and 2, but as Ken pointed out, I think there's a workaround here. Not that we really want to see the vehicles out on the public way either, but there is no bylaw preventing it. So I guess I'm a yes, but you do need 4 votes, or something called a supermajority. You don't have that. So if we were to vote, we would deny the application. You can withdraw without prejudice, but in either case, the fines would go forward that were issued by the town. So what would you like to do?
What are my options?
So your options are, you can withdraw without prejudice, and no vote is taken, and the application is just withdrawn. You can ask for a continuance, but I don't see anything worthy of how unless you have some other plan you can come up with, but if you had another plan, you wouldn't be before us, so. And then we could take a vote. If we take a vote, it will be denied, and that will last for 2 years. And in any case, like I said, I don't see any means to overturn the fines by the town, so regardless of what you do, the fines would be in effect.
Yeah, that's a substantial amount of money.
Well, we don't set the fines. That's really with town hall, so.
Again, like I had stated, when I received the very first
I'm not going to debate it with you. I can ask, Mr. Sekeli, what are the fines total right now?
So we don't. So it's always $300 per violation per day, but it's not like we do every day. So it was based upon the letter. So it was
so the three. So it's $900.
$900. I will say before we move forward, the applicant, Mr. Jones, has already said that if he gets denied, he's going to park on the street.
Right.
So you should take that into consideration.
Yep.
Because that's what he's going to do. He has said it, and there's nothing wrong with him doing that.
Sure.
So there's enough space on the site. I understand people might not want to look at it, but I think the question is, would you rather look at it or accidentally hit it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can go back based on that information, but it would mean 2 current no's would have to flip. So, Jeff, are you still a no?
I don't know. Parking in the driveway, to me, would be better than parking on the street, which is what he's going to do. So I guess I would be a yes.
All right. Mr. Scholes.
I'm still a no.
Still a no. Karine?
I'm still a no.
Yeah.
Again, we're forced into a yes because of like the retaliation. I don't see that. I'm a no.
Okay. So that's where it's at, Mr. Jones. As Mr. Sekeli indicated, it would just be the 3 enforcement letters, so it's not the daily fine. I think it's what I'm hearing. So,
Correct.
So one of my neighbors took the liberty of coming before you and mentioning how he has an issue with the vehicles being parked on Putnam Street because they can barely get cars up and
All right,
down
well, I'm
without
going to stop you
vehicles
there.
on. So my vehicles are going to be parked on Putnam
Mr.
Street.
Jones,
This is ridiculous.
We're here to debate the zoning part of it.
Okay, all right, I understand. I want a
But I
continuance,
do need your
please.
input. I need to know what you'd like us
Continuance.
to do. You want to continue. And we have a date, as I already mentioned this evening, of...
30th is getting filled, Mr. Chair.
What? I'm sorry?
The 30th is getting filled up.
Yeah, so I would have to push this out to November 13th.
That's fine. Let me just make sure I don't have anything going on then.
Okay.
And we would obviously not toll any fines during this time.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Jones, we're trying to come to a resolution, but I think you've heard the board pretty clear.
Yeah, I've
And
heard
some
it.
of your neighbors. Look, we can only offer suggestions and hopefully a way we can navigate forward in this.
I don't see it being a resolution, so.
All right, well, we're
that's-
not debating the case anymore. I just
Fine.
need to know if you want to continue
The
it.
13th, November 13th is fine.
Can I get a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we continue this case until November 13th.
I got a motion and a second.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Someone
wants to
speak first.
No, we're
Question
not
from the
speaking. We're not speaking.
There's no vote.
We're not voting. We continued the case. We just took
wait
a
until
vote.
November 13th.
You had 2 noes.
You had 2 noes. You require a supermajority.
Yeses.
Okay. We will see that one on November 13th.
My goodness.
Okay.
Not getting anything done tonight.
No, we're not getting anywhere.
Let's continue.
Continue. All right, Mr. Clerk, please.
Our next case is 10 Autumn Street, zoned R3. Request for a finding under section 3.11 and 3.12 of the Danvers Zoning Bylaw to expand an existing deck onto the side setback where a pre-existing non-conforming house is already situated on the lot. Request made by Michael Feener, docket 23-5042.
Okay, folks, we're trying to run the rest of the meeting. If you could take your conversation outside.
Yes, special permit requires supermajority, 4 to 1.
Okay, I thought.
No, special permits is supermajority. Variance too. Both of them.
Oh, it's a fire.
Go ahead, Mr. Feener. I take it you're Mr. Feener.
Yes.
And we saying it right?
Yes, my name is Michael Feener, 10 Autumn Street. So
Okay, and you don't have any commercial vehicles?
no, sir.
Okay.
So
Just a little, just try to take the air out of the room a little here, so. Go ahead, tell us what you'd like to do.
my project is to replace an old deck behind my house. So I adjusted the plans a little bit. We have a retaining wall underneath the deck, so we made the upper platform a little bigger. And the lower platform's always been a little awkward, and there's kind of a railing kind of where the door is, so we just want to make that a little bigger as well. So yeah, our house is kind of situated at the front corner of the lot, so we're just trying to kind of work with what we got. It's already only 7 feet, so we're going to try and stay 12 feet with the deck, so we're going to do even more space than what the existing setback
So
is.
currently you have the deck only 7 feet from the setback, but the new deck will be 12, is that what I heard?
The garage, my whole house in the garage.
The garage corner's 7.
I see, okay. Garage is 7, but you're gonna have this deck be 12.
Right, the garage is 7, but we're planning for the deck to be 12.
And this drawing's up to date?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And our neighbors at the next house over at 8 Autumn Street, they couldn't be here, but they sent in a letter. We talked to them, and they support our deck as well. So I hope that's in the file.
We didn't get a letter
Sorry.
of support. Mr. Zakelli, do you have any
I
notice
don't
of
think
that?
we have.
Yeah, without it.
I can double check.
Without anything official, we can't read it into record, but
I-
if they're not, their opportunity, like the other cases tonight,
Yeah.
is to be here. If you have a copy, we'll take that.
Okay. Yeah, I have an email from Emily too. So.
As long as the name and address is on there, we can read it into public record. If that's not the case.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. It is in the packet. It's neighbor letter 8 Autumn and September 20th, to whom it may concern, as owners and residents of 8 Autumn Street, Danvers, map 25 lot 60. We have no objections to and support the proposed building changes at 10 Autumn Street, Danvers.
And that
Sincerely,
is-
Lisa Buglin and Edward Marianopoulos.
Okay, we didn't get that in our packets.
It
But,
is in the digital packet. It's possible it's not in your paper, but
Okay,
it was in
very
the
good.
packet. Yep.
So you got a letter of support from a neighbor, and, okay, anything else you want to tell us before I open it up for questions?
No, that's it. Sorry.
Okay, and no commercial vehicles?
No, sir.
Okay. Kareem, we'll start with you.
I have no questions on this application.
Very good. Ken J.
I have no questions either.
Okay. And Ken Scholes.
No questions, thank you.
And Jeff.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this picture in our packet, this is the existing condition,
Yes, sir.
and this is the new plan.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have no questions.
Okay. And Mr. Feener, how long have you owned the property?
Since 2016.
2016. So the prior variance that we issued, you did not request, that was done by the prior owner?
I'm not aware of a variance, but it may exist. I'm just not aware of anything prior to 2016.
Variance for the garage.
Yeah, and I think that's what's in our packet, right?
Docket sheets here.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
so-
2015, there was a variance issued right around this date, right? Okay, so I just was wondering if we addressed this back then, but a variance was granted to a new two-story addition on the right side of the house. Okay, approximately 1,000 square feet. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that project never went through.
Well, that's what I was confused about. So this never got built.
No, sir. The owners moved rather than do the project.
Okay.
Right, it got granted and then didn't act on it.
They didn't act on it.
Correct.
But that's on the other side.
That variance lapsed.
It lapsed, and it was on the other side of the building, so
Okay.
totally
Okay.
unrelated.
All right, but it still stays in the record.
It's it's the record. It was granted,
Not-
but,
but we
there's no
granted
way
it, but
anybody
it
can act on it.
Never got built.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't have any additional questions from that. I think this is pretty straightforward, what you're looking to do. Tearing down an old deck, putting in a new deck
Yes, sir.
with, I guess, a little bit different of a shape.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone here, any other questions from the board?
Nope.
Anyone here on 10 Autumn Street? 10 Autumn Street. Hearing, seeing none, I will come back to the board. Corrine, deliberations, please.
Thank you. I love the new design. I think it will look great, and I am a yes on this application.
Okay, Ken J.
I'm a yes as well.
Mr. Scholes.
I am a yes.
Jeff.
I am a yes.
And I, too, am a yes. So, if I could get a motion, please.
This is autumn, 10 autumn.
10 Autumn.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we issue a finding under Section 3.11 and 3.12 of the Danvers Zoning Bylaw to expand an existing deck into the side setback where a pre-existing non-conforming house is already situated on the lot, and that the extension or enlargement is appropriate in scale and mass for the neighborhood.
I will second.
I've got a motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good.
luck.
Good luck.
You got it. Good luck, Mr. Feener.
Thank you. Thanks, Brian.
Enjoy. All right. We got one done.
Yeah.
Bob is still awake.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes, I am ready, Mr.
Our next case is 3 Tibbetts Ave, zoned R2. Request for a finding under section 3.11.B.2 of the Danvers zoning bylaw to replace an existing non-conforming garage on a non-conforming lot. Request made by Margaret Kelly, care of Robert Griffin, docket 23-5043.
Good evening. So Mrs. Kelly has, in the last year or so, been reconstructing her residence, and you can see from the picture the residence is nearing completion.
Mr. Griffin, if I could just interrupt, you didn't introduce yourself, so if you could.
I'm sorry, it's Robert Griffin, Griffin Engineering, Beverly, Massachusetts.
Thank you.
I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
It's okay.
So, but this is a small lot. It's a non-conforming lot in the R2 district, has about 8,000 square feet of land, and only has about 90 feet of frontage where 125 is required. The residence is non-conforming. It's too close to the front line. It's too close to the sideline. And this project is to replace the garage. The existing garage is the gray rectangle, and the proposed garage is the red rectangle. And you can see that we're going to improve the front yard setback a little bit. We're going to go from about 15 feet to about 18 feet, about 19 feet really. And the side is going to remain the same. It's 4.5 feet now. It's going to remain 4.6 feet. And we're going to square up the garage to the house so that it looks a little bit more neat from the street. And those two buildings are going to be about 8 feet apart when we're done. The existing garage is poorly constructed. It has no foundation. It has no, the joists are too small, and the rafters are too small, I mean. There's no lateral restraint, so the building sort of sags a little bit when it gets a lot of snow on it. And the proposed construction will be properly built. It'll have a proper foundation. It'll have a proper slab. It'll have flood vents. You can see in the newly constructed house, there are some flood vents in the front of the building. And this garage is going, due to the elevation of the street, it needs to be in a flood zone. So it will have flood vents. It also will have a rear door so that Mrs. Kelly, if she wants to use the boat ramp in the back of the property, can go through the front door of the garage and then out the back door of the garage to reach the water. There was also a 3-foot door on the side to provide access without having to raise up the garage door. I think it's very nicely designed. If you scroll through the application, there are some plans from Mrs. Kelly's architect. This is the same architect that designed the house. And of course, he wants the garage to have compatible materials, so really the same type of stone, same type of siding, same colors as you see in the residence in the picture will be used to construct the garage. So that's the old garage on the right-hand side there. And lastly, I just want to point out that we have some signatures from 3 abutters, the 2 on the sides and the one across the street that I'll give you.
Thank you. I'll have you read that in.
Sure.
Mr. Griffin, we're going to read that in.
Dear members of the board, we are neighbors who are in support of the application by Margaret Kelly to demolish and reconstruct the existing garage at 3 Tibbetts Ave. Thank you. Signed, the abutters. Last name's Colson at 1 Tibbetts, McMahon at 5 Tibbetts, and looks like Long at 2 Tibbetts Ave.
Thank you. Mr. Griffin, anything else you want to point out to us?
No, I'd be happy to address your questions. Thank you very much.
Well, I can say I visited the property yesterday, and the main house is well done. It looks very nice. You answered my question, because I look at the garage from the street, and it kind of does appear like, hey, there's nothing really wrong with that. But as you've indicated, the structures sounds like not the greatest, and it's not.
That's correct.
Footed, I guess, properly, or foundationed properly. So I'll open it up for questions. Jeff, we'll start with you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have no questions.
Ken?
I have no questions. I'll wait for comments.
Ken J.
So is the cupola strictly ornamental? It seems
Yes.
pretty tall. Like, is that a 6-foot tall cupola?
Yeah, I mean, the building's, I think, 24 feet wide, so is that, it looks like a little less than 25% of the building width, but it's probably 4 feet anyways. But it is ornamental. It needs to be big enough to have those little glass windows in there. And obviously, it was designed by a very experienced and competent architect, and I'll just leave it at that.
So is there any function, any utility to that? Is it like something like someone going to be like a little watchtower or something? Or a light in there?
It's a garage. There's a little bit of attic space above where you put your cars. And I think if you scroll back one, you can see that there's a cross-section that shows that, the attic space goes from, I think, 4 feet on the sides to maybe 8 feet in the middle. So it's really not much of an attic. And there's your ornamental cupola. So it's just for looks.
Yeah, there's no way to reach the cupola. It's just basically letting some light in. Looks nice.
Yeah.
All right. I have no other questions. Thanks.
Thank you, Ken. Karine?
So the height of the building is now going to be 26? Is that what I'm reading? Am I reading that correctly on the plan?
So the way height is measured according to Danvers zoning is you measure it to the midpoint of the gable. The ornamental cupola does not come into the height calculation, so it's 17 feet 6 inches from a zoning point of view. The very peak is at 26, though, which is less than the required height in this district, which I think is 30 feet.
Correct, 30 feet.
I'm just trying to figure out how it's going to look. And what is the height of the home? What's the total height on the house? Do you know?
I don't. It's comparable. It's certainly more than 20 and under 30.
All right. So this structure isn't going to, the top part isn't going to kind of stand head and shoulders above where the top line of the house is.
No, I think clearly the garage is going to be subordinate to the primary structure.
Okay. Okay, that was my only question.
Okay, so we're not talking like a lighthouse or anything here.
Right.
It's not going to have a beacon light going round and round, right? I don't think I have any questions. And you said there would be a garage door out the backside as well?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of ingenious, actually.
My house.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, I've never been invited.
You're a genius.
I'll see you
Do you
tomorrow.
have a boat launch, too?
No, I have a pool.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't think I have any questions. I'll put this out to the public for comment. 3 Tibbetts Ave, anybody? No? Nothing? Okay. No commercial vehicles on this one either?
No, promise.
Okay. Thank you. All right, I think I started with Corinne or Jeff? I'm losing it tonight.
Me.
Jeff, go
I'll vote
ahead.
for this.
You're a yes. Ken?
I think the way the garage sits now is a little odd. So I love the fact that you're squaring it up, getting it closer to the house, and FYI, love the cupola.
Thank
I'm a
you.
yes.
Ken J.
I'm a yes.
Okay. Corinne?
I'm a yes as well. I love the design of the house, and I think the garage will be a nice complement, so I am a yes.
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Scholes that I think squaring it up makes sense. That neighborhood's taken a real revitalization. I think everything looks really,
It's beautiful.
The house is
so
beautiful.
a lot of good work has gone on down there. I'm jealous of the second garage door out the back. That's pretty ingenious, although it doesn't lend itself for storage along that wall, but it doesn't sound like they need it. So if I could get a motion, please.
This is Tibbetts.
3 Tibbetts, yeah. This is for a finding, I believe?
Mr. Chairman, I move to issue a finding under section 3.1.1B2 of the Danvers Zoning Bylaw to replace an existing non-conforming garage on a non-conforming lot according to the plans submitted, and that the extension or enlargement is appropriate in scale and mass for the neighborhood.
I will second that.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? You got it,
Thank
Mr.
you all very much.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Okay, and thanks for hanging in with us down there. We will go to our last case, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our last case is 425 Newberry Street. This is Industrial 1. Request for a variance from Section 37 to replace pre-existing non-conforming signage with new branding but the same size lettering. Also, 2 additional canopy signs are proposed where currently the site has none. Request is made by PMG Northeast LLC, Noria Energy Care of New Hampshire Signs. Docket 23-5044.
Hi there.
Hello, Grant Michael with New Hampshire Signs.
Mr. Michael, can you tell me, is the owner present?
No.
Okay, let it rip.
So we do signs for client Noria. Basically, right now, they have the store, the C-store, branded as Noria. There's a building sign as the Noria brand. They are getting rid of their contract with Gulfs, so basically, they are getting rid of the Gulf brand, and they have kind of started doing their own, like, unbranded but branded stations with their Noria brand. So this will be switching from a Gulf to a Noria. Basically, most of the stuff is just replacing what's out there. This site is under a previous variance that requires any time anything is done to this site, you have to come for a variance again. So like I say, like the pylon sign or main ID, the square footage is staying the same. We're replacing those cabinets. The Noria sign, which is kind of the highway sign, that's staying the same size, just the face gets changed out. So all that stuff's existing. The one thing is the canopy signs are new. There's no currently any canopy signs there. Part of their brand is they've developed this kind of brand new canopy that they've designed to integrate with their logos and make their brand stand out. It's a very nice kind of upscale branded look. Also, at this location, I do have some photos. They're not included in the packet, which I should have. You can kind of see the main ID itself, like the pylon sign, is set back from the road quite a bit, and it's not great visibility on your sight line, whereas the canopy is closer to the road to allow people to see that there's a Noria brand down the way. And also from the other direction. The canopy actually blocks out the MID where you can't even see like what type of station it is. So they're just looking for a little bit more visibility as they're an unbranded gas trying to make a name for themselves, kind of like a Cumberland Farms or something like that, where they're not a Gulf Mobile, whatever. They have their own rewards program, so it's very good for people to know like where they're located and what they can do. So that's basically what we're here for. I do have some pictures of kind of like one of their stations I could give to you or not. It kind of shows the overall appearance if you guys are interested.
Okay.
Or not.
So you're looking to change out all the signs, but you're adding one new sign, or did I read that?
Yeah, we believe that we're trying to work through some of the bylaws here. We believe we're allowed one canopy sign for 32 square feet, and we're asking for 2 canopy signs that equal 32 square feet, so they'd each be 16 feet apiece.
So the square footage of the sign is not changing, but it's just becoming 2 versus 1.
So,
They're changing all the signs.
small clarification.
Yeah.
Everything that's not canopy signs is a cut and paste. They're just changing Gulf to Nerea.
Yep.
There's 2 new signs. One of them I totally agree with everything he just said. One of them is allowed. They're allowed to do 1 canopy sign by right. They're essentially in here to request a variance for that second sign.
Canopy sign.
Canopy sign. So the only thing new here are two new canopy signs. However, the square
One allowed by right,
one allowed by right, one allowed by this
Variance.
potential variance. However, the square footage is still under those regs. So it actually does meet the regs with square footage, doesn't meet the regs with the number of signs.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Thank you.
You're gonna
Mr. Michael, hold on, Jeff. Anything you would like to add?
No, I could only say that it's kind of to even out the canopy and be able to see it from both directions. It's kind of how we
That's the
develop
approach.
it, rather than having, one on the face of a canopy that really can't see. So,
Okay. Kareem, we'll start with you.
Now, you stated that you wanted the 2 canopy signs, but the canopies are already there, so you won't be adding those. They're already there. You're just putting signage on them.
correct. There is an existing canopy that's it's basically white with like an orange Gulf stripe, and it'll be changing over to the blue and white and green stripe. Like when they redo it, they'll pull that Gulf branding off, and they've got their new branding they put onto it, but the canopy will remain the same. It's just changing brands. It's not changing the size of the canopy or changing any.
And with that pylon sign, it looks as if the bottom part of it needs some maintenance done. So I'm assuming that when you put the sign up top, the Nerea sign, that you will be addressing the issue with the bottom part or the pylon part of that.
Which sign are you referring to? The smaller one or the
sign.
larger one?
The one you would never get by today's zoning.
It's actually been, I think I have one picture here. It's actually been recently painted. They, Gulf, when they updated it from the Gulf clouds to the Gulf,
It looks
here.
nice now. They
Yeah.
redid it. They repainted it not too long ago.
Yeah, because we thought we were going to have to repaint it, and then we found out it was repainted, and we were very glad that we don't have to repaint it.
Okay, Karine, I'm looking here at a photo that does show it. I had the same question, because the picture in their
It's pretty bad.
application's pretty ugly.
Yeah, it's been restored.
I have a question regarding it too, but I'll let Karine finish. So Karine, the photograph they just submitted does show it freshened up with a coat of white paint.
Okay, that's great. When I drove by, I don't remember seeing it painted, but maybe it was just newly done. So thank you.
Do we know when this photograph's from?
I believe it's within the last year. I'd have to look at, I got some of these off Google, or I have some pictures from this year, but I believe it's about a year old. That Gulf branding
I guess I would put
within
it
the
this
last
way.
2
Would you
years.
take a condition to make sure that this pylon sign was painted, I guess?
Yeah, yes.
That's all I needed to hear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
Ken J. I'm sorry, Karine, do you have any additional questions?
That's it, thank you.
Okay, Ken J.
So is it one big canopy or two canopies?
Oh, it's just like a gas station canopy. It's just
Okay,
one,
so
one
one-
canopy, but you're just looking at from the south side and the north side, you know,
Okay,
so
so
if
you
you
want-
approach from each direction, you'd be able to see a canopy sign.
Yeah, so you just want one sign on either side. Okay.
Right, so you can see it approaching from the north and from the south.
Yep. I have no other questions.
No other questions. Ken
Okay.
Scholes.
Thank you. So the picture we're looking at right now on the screen, is that the 80-foot tower?
No, that's the
That's
south
the
side.
lower one.
And the existing one now has the digital readout of the gas price and all that?
Yes, it does.
I don't recall that. This is the existing digital one? Okay. That's the one you said set back a little bit?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And they have a variance for that 80-foot, right?
Well, I think it predates.
That thing is
Yeah.
old.
It
Yeah, I know.
predates.
I know. I guess that's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Jeff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I think I heard from you that the existing canopy is staying put, you're just rebranding it?
Correct.
Yeah, the canopy across the street rotted and fell over.
At that mobile?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
So they get a lot of salt and wear down there. I don't think I have any questions, though.
Okay.
I understand what they're doing.
And, Mr. Michael, you already answered mine. I just looked at, you could take a condition to freshen up that.
Not a problem.
Quite
Gigantic
large
sign.
pylon.
Not a problem.
I believe it's one of the largest in town.
Yeah.
It's gotta be. And it definitely predates zoning. But I guess I don't, this seems straightforward.
Yeah, we'll even
You're adding
touch
a
up any
canopy
rust,
sign,
so.
and you're rebranding everything else, all at the same square footage that exists.
Yes.
And no lighting changes.
So there is one change, just so I don't sneak in. So.
If you, we have the packet, but I need you in the microphone.
Just one thing to note, so you guys are all aware. So the regular rewards, as you see in a lot of times these days, where people have like the cash credit or the member, non-member, whatever, and they offer a discounted price.
Yep.
So that rewards does go from like rewards to blank.
Can't do
I
it.
Can't do it?
here.
No blinking
Why
in
not?
Danvers.
It doesn't blink.
No, we
No,
don't, we
no
don't.
changing in
toggles.
Danvers.
They have to be
Doesn't matter.
static.
Okay.
Our bylaw requires static.
Okay. That's fine. We can get rid of it, but there's a lot of places that
Otherwise,
allows them to offer like
my
the
fine guy is
discounted.
gonna visit you.
Can't toggle.
But yeah, allows them to offer a discounted price to their
You can
members.
toggle every 24 hours, once. That's our bylaw. Anything outside of that,
It was a Cumberland Farms.
You can
on
do it as a
Route 1
condition,
South
and I'll
that-
ask them if they want to do that or not.
that wasn't what was advertised for, so I would
Okay.
say no.
All right.
But I'll go out to our commander-in-chief and make sure I'm right.
So yeah, I did not think that you would require a variance to have a flashing sign because it's expressly prohibited. So I don't believe they applied for that relief.
Correct.
So I don't
Okay.
believe you can give it.
Yeah, so we couldn't hear that
Okay.
right now.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine.
Or condition it.
Well, we can do that at a different time then if
Correct, you
if
could bring it
need
back
be.
before us, but I can tell you just.
We will deny it.
It won't go.
Okay, that's fine.
won't go.
I appreciate the
Save,
honesty.
your applicants
I just
some,
and I just also
time
wanted to
and
make
money.
sure you guys were aware of that too, because on that it's misleading. There should have been another drawing included in that packet. If-
Cumberland Farms on Route 1 South had a sign where they had a member price and a cash price and a credit price, and it was blinking between the three. And we called them in, and they had to change it.
All right.
Okay,
Fair enough.
I'll go out to the public. Any comment here? And this address is 425 Newberry Street. Yes, sir, the microphone is yours.
We haven't heard from Mr. Bradstreet.
That's
tonight.
good.
Not at all.
He's been
That's
silent.
because we're efficient tonight.
Been waiting.
Quiet.
Bill Bradstreet, Town Meeting Member, Precinct 1. Any restrictions on when the lights can be on or they have to be off?
I believe they're a 24/7 operation.
24/7 gas station.
Okay.
But our town bylaw states if they had a closing hour, they allowed to have that light on, I believe, 1 hour after closing. Yeah.
And the
1
other one
hour.
is the outside audio?
Say it again?
Outside audio, do we have music or anything?
I don't,
I believe it's
No.
come up before, I'm just asking from memory.
yeah, I don't
I mean,
think
it's a gas station.
It's a gas station, but no, I know what he's talking about because I've seen that.
They have
Where
TVs at the
pumps are playing videos now, and so none of that's planned. Okay. So to our knowledge, no.
Thank you. Answers my question. Thank you.
Happy Halloween. Okay. With that said, I'll close public comment, and Kareem, we'll start with you for deliberations.
I will vote for this.
Ken J.
I will vote for this as well.
And Ken S.
I'll vote for this if they lower the 80-foot thing to 40. I'm only kidding. I'm okay
I agreed to check into that it was painted.
Yeah, I'm okay the way it's proposed.
Thank you.
I will
Jeff?
vote for this.
Yeah, I don't see an issue with the canopy change, although I mean, my personal opinion is your southbound traffic is very unlikely to go to that site, only because I find that crossing Route 1 at that intersection is a death trap. We have many accidents there, a lot. I don't know what the statistics are. I know in checking police logs, though, and fatal accidents, too. So I think people are reluctant to cross Route 1 there, unless there's a red light. So I don't see where the brand being on the other side is going to really buy your client or owner much more business. But that's just my opinion. So you do have the votes, and I would vote for it as is. And if I could get a motion, please.
Mr. Chairman, I motion to issue a variance under Section 37 to replace pre-existing non-conforming signage with new branding, but the same size lettering. Also, 2 additional canopy signs are proposed where currently the site has none, and that this condition does not affect other properties or structures in the same zoning district. A literal enforcement of the zoning bylaw would involve substantial hardship to the applicant, and granting this variance will not create a substantial detriment to the public good and will not nullify or derogate from the intent and purpose of our zoning bylaw.
And then we had a condition.
We don't have any conditions.
Yeah, he agreed to a
He is to
condition.
check
make
the
sure
painting.
the
Oh,
pile-
and a condition that he make sure it's painted.
The pylon
The pylon
sign.
tower.
The
The
gigantic
high-rise, I would
gigantic
consider it a
pylon
high-rise
sign.
if that's how you want to label it.
The high-rise pylon sign
Yeah.
is painted.
Okay.
Okay, and you'll
Yeah,
accept that
84.
condition. I've got a motion. Can I get a second?
I will second.
I've got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone
Aye.
opposed? Very good. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
With that said, a motion to exit.
So moved.
So moved and seconded.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Good night, Danvers.
Night, Danvers.
Good
Yeah,
night.
take care.
Thanks.
Good night.